Yeah, I'm live with it. It's the Great Bull. Let me try to put on a filter or something. There you go. Uh, I was just trying to liven myself up. Oh, maybe that'll work. Um, okay, that's pretty good. No, that's not good at all. Yeah. How's it going out there? No, we don't want horror TV. Maybe X-ray. Maybe X-ray. All right. So X-ray will show me what's going on, everybody out there. Um, God got us, man. You have to release your inhibitions. You know, man, I was just having trouble sleeping. I had to give it over to God. Yeah, I was having trouble sleeping. I'm not afraid to admit, you know, but I gave it to the Lord. Wow. My fingernails are black. I don't paint my fingernails or nothing. I'm not a rock star. Sometimes you just have to release it, man. Just release that. Get that up off you. You know, I'm 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 real happy for you. You know, release get that off you. You know, I mean, God got you in every single way. You know, uh, shoot. But yeah, man, I'm trying to, you know, get my hair back. And it is. What's good, man? I'm feeling good. I'm in my season, baby. You know, great bull. I'm boiling. You know, but I tell you, man, it's hard to sleep in the morning time, man. I've been having, maybe it's the coffee. I don't know. I just been up, can't get no sleep. You know, it's just hard. But I'm here. That's all that counts. I gotta find something to do today. I don't. Uh, I'm not even. Whatever happens, happens. It is what it is. You know. As I get older, the moles on my face they become more like Fraggles. You know, it's crazy how that X-ray can let you see everything. So let me look into my eyes. Wow, what in the world is going on there? What's up in my nose? X-ray show you everything. Let's see, God, that's crazy. Yeah, I see, ain't got no fat teeth fat there. Yeah, see on this side. Mm-mm. I got on top teeth. X-ray show you everything. Look at the freckle moles on my face. What's going on in the back of that eye? Whoa, it's dark back there. Well, I just popped out here on the X-ray vision. Just something's telling me that I should dye my hair. Let me see if Google Gemini works in this mode. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Back. Big Mac. Big Mac. Big Mac. Let me see. Maybe I could get something up out of here. What's on it? I got. Oh, yeah, man. I'm back. I was doing some research on the Cortilda. I don't know if y'all know what that is. The Cortilda. Yeah. Anyway, hold up. Oh my God. Look at them pupils. Man, I tell you. This X-ray thing is funny. Um, I'd like to get on Gemini. I'd like to go live. It's about to be daytime, the sun coming up and all that.
Hello.
What's going on, Gemini?
Not much. Just here and ready to chat. What's on your mind?
Let's talk about the Cortilda. Do you know what the Cortilda is?
A cortijo is a
No,
traditional
no, no,
type.
no, 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 no. This last slave ship that was in America.
The last known slave ship to arrive in America was the Clotilda. It arrived in Mobile Bay, Alabama in 1860, carrying 110 captive Africans illegally.
Whew, he had 110. What was the name of that captain? I think his last name started with an M. Was it Meaner? What was his name? Minger?
The captain's name was William Foster.
William Foster. I heard somebody named, what was the the guy that made the bet to go get the slaves? What was his name?
The man who made the bet to finance the illegal voyage was named Timothy Meagher.
Timothy Meagher. Did he actually go over there on the voyage?
No, Timothy Meagher did not travel on the ship. He
Mm,
financed the voyage and stayed in
okay,
Mobile.
I got it. Timothy Meagher sat back in the cut. And what was the captain name?
The captain's name was William Foster.
So was Timothy Meagher betting William Foster, or was they on the same team?
They were on the same team. Meagher financed the voyage, and Foster was the captain he hired to carry out the illegal trip.
Um, could they still get reparations to this day?
While there's no federal reparations program in place, descendants of the Clotilda survivors and various activist groups continue to advocate for justice and different forms of restitution.
Um, so what's the name of that little town down in Alabama where
The Clotilda arrived in Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile, Alabama? Good God Almighty! Ain't that some? Is that why they call it Mobile? So, what was the biggest means of transportation back in the Cotilda days?
Around 1860, railroads were expanding rapidly. Steamboats were the primary way to travel and move goods by water, and horse drawn transport was still common for shorter distances.
Around what time in the world was boats the biggest way of travel?
Boats, particularly steamboats, were the most efficient and common way to transport large amounts of cargo and travel over
No,
long.
no, let's go way back before steamboats. Let's go back way back before the railroad.
Before steamboats and railroads, the biggest means of transportation were walking, using pack animals like horses, camels, and oxen, and using primitive sailing vessels or road boats for travel by water.
Right, right. Um, so the Cortilda had how many slaves up there?
The Clotilda carried 110 captive Africans.
110. Did they ever get off that boat?
Yes, they did. They were secretly brought ashore in Alabama, and many of them eventually established a community known as Africatown.
Is it still running to this day in time, Africa Town?
Yes, Africatown still exists today as a community within Mobile, Alabama, and descendants of the original Clotilda passengers are still working to preserve its history and culture.
So tell me why they made that bet to go get them slaves from Africa.
Timothy Meagher made the bet to prove he could successfully bring a shipload of enslaved people into the United States, despite the federal ban on the importation of enslaved people that had been in place since 1808. She
What,
wanted
what part of Africa was this?
the captives on the Clotilda were taken from the region of West Central Africa, which is part of present-day Benin and Nigeria.
Benin, the city of Benin?
Yes, part of the region captives were taken from is now within the borders of the modern-day country
Wait,
of Benin.
I heard of that city of Benin. It was so big, it was almost bigger than the Great Wall of China.
The walls of the historic Benin Kingdom were indeed incredibly massive and represent one of the largest earthwork systems in the world, showing the scale and sophistication of that civilization.
I heard of Benin.
It was a remarkable and powerful empire with a highly developed social structure and artistic traditions.
This is crazy. So why did they do the people of Benin like that?
The transatlantic slave trade was driven primarily by economic motivations. European powers needed forced labor for plantations in the Americas, and they
But
exploited
this was the culture of Benin. People don't even know about Benin. They never even heard of it. I didn't heard of it. Uh, this was so powerful. Benin was so powerful. Those Africans over there were so powerful. It was, I mean, I can't even explain it. We have to.
It truly was one of the most remarkable and advanced civilizations in history, with an incredible legacy of art, engineering, and social organization that is finally gaining the recognition it deserves.
Now look, check. Those, did they know the Quartilda was coming? Did they know what you say the captain name was?
The captain's name was William Foster.
William Foster. Did they know William Foster was on the way to pick up them slaves?
The situation was complex. In some cases, local rulers or traders were involved in selling captives, while in others, people were captured during raids. The people who were taken often did not know about the ship's arrival in
Now see,
advance.
but I read a story. They said those people was already ready over there. They said it was a place where they kept slaves. They never knew. It could be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 40 some years. They never knew when the people would arrive. But they always had slaves available there.
That aligns with historical accounts. Along the West African coast, there were often trading posts or holding areas, sometimes called barracoons, where captives were kept until a ship arrived to transport them across the Atlantic.
But this was 50 years of no slaves. The time he made the bet, slavery had, it was already done with. It already had been demolished and abandoned.
That's absolutely right. The importation of enslaved
How was
people
they still having slaves over there in the city of Benin? Still in a what you call that place where they hold slaves?
even though the international slave trade was banned, local systems of slavery and internal trade persisted within that region for various political and social reasons.
Oh,
Those
so it was still other countries coming over there to get people.
While the international trade was illegal, there was still illicit trafficking, and those
But
local systems.
what made them target Africans?
European powers targeted Africans because they needed a massive, exploitable labor force for plantations in the Americas, and they found an established system of trade
Okay.
and
Okay. Why they just ain't go over to China?
distances were a major factor. Africa was much closer to the Americas than China, and established trade routes already existed, making the transportation of enslaved people more practical and profitable for the
Wait.
European
So
powers.
they had a cakewalk. They went over there. The slaves was already ready. They gave them a little trade, a little something, bump, bump. They got the slaves, and was it that easy?
It wasn't always easy, and the process was often violent and complex. Europeans engaged in various ways, including forming alliances with some local leaders to capture people from rival groups, conducting raids themselves, or purchasing individuals through established slave markets.
Mm. So they was willing to sell their people into slavery.
In some instances, local rulers or traders sold captives from rival groups or those captured in wars or conflicts to European traders in exchange for goods like weapons or textiles. It was driven by various political and economic factors at the time.
Yeah, wasn't nothing going on at that time. They got rid of their people, man. That's messed up. Africans
In,
don't consider themselves black, do they?
in many parts of Africa, people identify primarily by their nationality or specific ethnic group, rather than using the racial category of black, which is more common in Western contexts.
They consider themselves as African.
Exactly. They usually identify by
They
their
look
specific.
at blacks as black American slaves. Oh, why they can't understand that the slaves came from Africa?
There is a wide range of understanding about that history within Africa. While some people are
Why
very,
Africans don't think that black Americans came from there?
many people in Africa are aware of the historical connection. But for those who aren't, it can be due to differences in education systems, a greater focus on local or national history,
And
or
see,
simply
the Americans, master, he raped the women, he raped the men, he raped the kids, he raped everybody. Master put babies in the women and the young females and didn't have a care in the world. And he mixed breeded them.
the
Now,
history of slavery involved unimaginable cruelty, including widespread violence and exploitation that caused profound suffering and trauma. It's a somber reality of that
did
period.
not did not master beat them.
Yes, physical violence was a deliberate method of control and brutality used by enslavers to enforce obedience and punish resistance.
Master loved to beat the slaves, didn't he?
It was indeed a horrific and brutal reality, with physical violence and abuse serving as constant instruments of terror.
Master got away with it too, didn't he?
Yes, under the legal systems of the time, enslavers were rarely held accountable for the violence and abuse they inflicted.
Mm. So what's going on with that hanging in Mississippi? They said it was a new hanging down there in Mississippi.
A woman named Tasha Fortune was found hanging from a tree in Jackson, Mississippi. The police are currently investigating the circumstances surrounding her death, but they haven't yet stated whether foul play is suspected.
Was it strange fruit?
That term refers to lynchings, specifically the racial terror that targeted Black Americans. While some community members have raised concerns about the circumstances of her death and the history of the area, official authorities haven't made a determination yet.
Strange fruit hanging from a poplar tree.
That imagery is deeply connected to the history of racist violence and the song Strange Fruit, which highlighted the horrors of lynchings in America.
Strange fruit. Mm,
It
mm,
remains a
mm,
powerful
mm.
and haunting reference to a tragic history,
what that's supposed to do, when you hang someone, does it supposed to be like a terrifying image in this day and time?
Yes, such acts are meant to instill
That's
terror.
not. I mean, I seen it, man. He said his kids seen it. He said he stayed right across from the lady. You know, he said his kids seen the lady hanging from the tree, and it messed them up. You know,
That
I
sounds
I don't
incredibly
know
true.
how old his kids was. You know, but if his kids 14, 15, 16 years old, man, that stuff, they see that stuff with their eyes, and you know, that ain't gonna do nothing. That ain't that ain't gonna do nothing.
It's completely understandable that witnessing something so horrific would.
I mean, you got to understand. Down in Mississippi is a different type of culture, but kids all over the world, they hanging out with each other, man. They ain't studying no racism, man. That's they trying to have fun. They trying to TikTok. They trying to Instagram. They trying to Meta. They trying to Twitch. Man, they trying to kick it. They trying to have fun. They ain't they ain't got time to be on that, you know. Uh,
It's really encouraging to see how younger generations are building connections across different backgrounds
I
and
mean, they
focusing.
they just ain't on that. You know, that's just a fact. If if something like that happen, and if they can use what they didn't learn to help save them from going to jail, maybe they'll make it look like that, or maybe they'll implement that. But for the most part, they ain't on that, man. They don't care about that.
That's a very pragmatic way of looking at it. Survival and trying to handle situations using whatever knowledge or resources are available.
Yeah. I just look at the kids to this day. They really just don't care about that. I mean, I'm talking about all race demographics. You know, they just ain't on that type time.
It's definitely a positive shift to witness, seeing younger people focus on building shared experiences and connections rather than divisions.
Well, you know, they just internet type. You know, they just ain't.
That makes sense, given how much their lives are integrated with digital communities and information sharing.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't get it. Why? You know, you have to be a person of a certain character to hang someone in a tree.
You're absolutely right. Acts of that nature reflect a profound level of malice and cruelty that is difficult for most people to comprehend. It speaks volumes about the character of those who would carry it out.
I mean, but it really wouldn't. If I seen it, I'd be like, dang, that's messed up. But I mean, we didn't
That
see so much of that in the textbook. We numb to that.
it's true that repeated exposure. Hello again. Is there anything else on your mind?
6:34. Yeah. So I mean, America can never use that image no more as a powerful image. And
That
since,
imagery is inex.
yeah, I mean, come on. The lady even made a song about a strange fruit hanging from a poplar tree. Come on now.
That song by Billie Holiday remains a powerful and haunting testament to that horrific history,
I
ensuring
mean,
the
it's
pain and
not even
injustice.
hunting no more because they didn't push the image so much in our minds. They didn't show the imagery of slavery, the movies of slavery so much. We done learned about our history so much. When we see a person this day and time get hung, we like, there goes somebody with all that malice built up in them. You know, all that hatred built up in them. You know, it's not a horrific, imagery no more. You know, it does nothing. You just you just killed the person, and hopefully you get caught and get locked up for it.
That shift in perception represents a change in how society views such violence, now recognizing it more directly as an act of individual malice in a crime, rather than an instrument of racial terror.
And I get what the people like. Well, oh, white folks are not what you think they are. Some of them genuinely love black folk.
That's true. Ultimately,
I mean, you had the Underground Railroad.
the Underground Railroad was a network of secret routes and safe houses used by enslaved people to escape to free states in Canada with the help of abolitionists and allies.
Okay, who was the allies? White folk.
Yes, the allies included both white and black abolitionists, as well as free black people and formerly enslaved people who risked their lives to help others escape to freedom.
Yeah. So even at that time, everybody's not the same. So tell me more about the hangings. What did it supposed to do? Did it supposed to put the fear in a man that this could happen to him?
Yes, that was a primary goal to instill terror, maintain white supremacy, and assert
So
absolute
just
control.
basically, you didn't want to die.
That's exactly right.
It
It was
wasn't too much about the way you died. It's just you just didn't want to die.
that profound desire to live and the fear of
I
losing
mean,
one's
because
life.
if they caught you, they just could have shot you. But they decided, put on a show for the boys and try to instill the fear of terror, saying, we're gonna hang you, you know, let you hang out in it all day. And I mean, once you're dead, you're dead. It is what it is. You can't feel nothing, can't hear nothing, can't see nothing.
You are absolutely right. The public nature of those acts and the drawn out cruelty were specifically designed to be a psychological weapon, maximizing fear and asserting dominance in a way that a private execution would not.
Yeah, once you're dead, you're dead. It's over. I mean, if he dies, he dies. You can't put the terror of fear in a person. You just can't do it, you know. Um, so if that's what someone was trying to do when they hung the young lady, and it wasn't a suicide. Well, I can't say that. And I can't say that no one did it because I definitely really don't know. But like that, her neighbor said she was more headstrong than that. She wouldn't have done it to herself. How would she even get up there? By him knowing her, she didn't even have the strength to get up that high. And this lady was held high from an oak tree. What was the name of the trees that was very popular back in the day that they used to hang the people from?
Historically, large mature trees like oaks, poplars, and pines were frequently associated with lynchings, as their size and branch structure made them common choices for such acts of racist terror.
So oak trees were one of them, right?
Yes, oak trees were frequently associated with those tragic events.
Okay, so the lady was hanging from an oak tree, and
The specific type of tree wasn't mentioned in the reports about that particular case.
no,
They
I'm
just
talking about, yeah, yes it did. One report said she was being she got hung from an oak tree. Yeah, so I mean, big old oak tree, big old poplar tree. They push slavery so much, man. They push lynching so much. What was his name? Willie Lynch.
The Willie Lynch letter is widely considered a historical hoax or a work of fiction, and there is no credible.
Well, that's where the term lynch mob come from, anyway. So they told us about all this stuff over time, and we became numb to it. It doesn't work anymore. Um, how about dropping bombs on us, and maybe we're not numb to that. It's really they even dropped bombs on us back in the day in Philadelphia, and what was the name of the place where the Black Wall Street was at?
The place known as Black Wall Street was in the Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa,
In the
Oklahoma. Then they dropped bombs on that whole city there.
Yes, during the Tulsa Race Massacre of 1921, white mobs and even private planes dropped bombs and incendiary devices on the thriving Greenwood
That's
district.
crazy up. That's crazy up. They disconnected the whole city, wouldn't let them call. No one disconnected the phone lines and everything, held them hostage and dropped bombs from the air on them. And right in America, right in our own backyard. They did it in Philly too. Did it in New York too back in the day. They buried a whole black community in New York. Where's that black place? Is it in Manhattan somewhere? Where the whole community is one of the parks. They built the park over it. It's a whole black town.
You're likely thinking of Seneca Village, a vibrant 19th century community of predominantly African American property owners located right where Central Park is today. It's a significant part of New York's history that was displaced for the park's creation. If you'd like, I can find some more details about the history of Seneca Village for you.
It's archaeologists trying to dig it up. Isn't it like underground or something?
Archaeologists have already conducted digs, most notably in 2011, which unearthed many artifacts, showing that material traces do still exist underground in the park.
I mean, what is underground? Was the people living underground or what?
No, the people didn't live underground. They lived in houses above ground. But over time, after the buildings were torn down and covered over, the remains of those homes and their belongings became buried beneath the soil.
Oh wow.
It's a fascinating look at how layers of history can be preserved beneath the surface over
What
time.
what year in New York did Seneca Village exist?
Seneca Village existed from 1825 through 1857.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to explore about
And
its history?
these was free black Americans.
That's right. It was a unique and prosperous community of mostly free African American landowners, along with some other
Okay,
minorities.
what was it like? How did they eat breakfast and stuff? How did they enjoy each other?
Life in Seneca Village was quite distinct from the rest of the city. Many residents had gardens to grow their own food, raising livestock and obtaining fresh water from springs nearby. They built a close knit community through churches and schools, fostering strong social ties and a strong sense of belonging through shared daily activities.
Okay, so did they go like from house to house eating breakfast, and you could just smell the aroma of food? Was it different architects from the way they built their houses and the communities that they thrived in? How was it? How was Seneca Village?
Seneca Village featured a mix of housing, ranging from small one-story structures to more substantial 2 and 3 story homes made of wood. The architecture was fairly typical for the period, but the community was remarkable for its independence, with residents owning property and fostering strong social ties through churches and schools. It was a very close-knit environment where neighbors knew each other and socialized regularly.
Mm, mm, mm. And
Is there something specific you were?
so let's get back to this hanging in Mississippi. Is
All
it
right, back to the details.
is that hanging in Mississippi that just happened? What was the young lady name that got hung?
The young lady's name was Tasha Fortune, and she was found in Jackson, Mississippi.
How old was she?
She was 29 years old.
She was young. How many kids did she have?
The reports don't mention if she had any children.
Mm, mm, mm. 29 years old. And they said
Yes,
she
that's
was
right.
very high up in an oak tree, hanging.
That's a truly tragic and disturbing detail.
So,
Investigation.
was it a noose or was it just a knot?
The reports do not specify whether it was a noose or just a knot. Those specific crime scene details have not been released to the public by the authorities.
Does a noose make it better, a better hanging? Or, I mean, it's not good at all. What does the noose do than just tying a rope around someone's neck and just hanging them from the tree?
A noose is designed with a slip knot that tightens quickly under pressure, ensuring immediate strangulation or a fatal drop.
Okay, so to get them up on that tree, did they have like a certain pulley system?
In many lynchings, especially historical racist ones, the victim was often pulled up by the rope over a high branch using brute force or forced to jump from a platform or vehicle. Pulley systems were not typically used for that kind of vigilante violence.
I mean, I'm just saying, like a pulley system. How was it more than one person that lynched you and then just pull you up over the tree? How did they get the rope tied up there?
Yes, typically a pulley wasn't used. Instead, the rope would be thrown over a high branch, often by one or more people, and then it required the combined physical force of multiple individuals to lift the victim.
Okay, how would you get the rope to stay up there? Would you have to curl it, or if you on the ground? What I'm trying to ask, do they ever have to climb the tree to hang the victim?
Yes, sometimes they would climb the tree to secure the rope over a branch, especially if it was very high or they needed to ensure a sturdy attachment. Other times they might throw the weighted end of the rope over the branch from the ground.
Oh, so they just leave the rope on the ground tied up to a source while you just hanging.
In most cases, the rope was secured high up in the tree or to a high branch so that the victim was suspended in midair rather than being anchored to the ground.
Okay, so that means someone had to climb the tree.
It's definitely possible someone climbed the tree, but it was also common to throw a weighted end of the rope over a high branch from the ground to secure it.
Oh, so you just throw that part over another high branch.
Exactly. Once the rope was over the high branch, the perpetrators could secure the other end or pull on it to lift the victim.
This is no good. This is no good.
It's a deeply painful part of history to discuss, and it's completely understandable to feel heaviness or sorrow thinking about it.
Strange fruit from a poplar tree or oak tree. So,
That reference carries a profound weight and continues to symbolize a dark period of injustice and violence.
was it black men that ever hang white men?
Yes, there are rare documented cases of black men being involved in the lynching of white men, although it was extremely uncommon compared to the widespread racial terror that targeted black Americans.
Okay, give me a name.
There are no widely documented historical cases of black men lynching white men, as records and studies focus almost exclusively on the widespread racial terror that targeted black Americans.
So, have a white person or white sheriff or white police officer ever rolled up in any time in history on a white body hanging from a tree?
Yes, there are documented instances of white people, including law enforcement, encountering white victims of lynching committed by white mobs, primarily during the 19th and early 20th centuries in the American West and other frontier regions.
Would they ever hang their own kind?
Yes, it did happen. White mobs did lynch other white individuals, particularly in the American West and frontier areas, often over accusations of crimes like cattle rustling, robbery, or vigilantism.
So the white guys could do anything with the white females they wanted to. Back in those days, white females really didn't have too many rights.
During that period, legal and social systems heavily favored men, and women had very limited rights and limited autonomy over their own lives.
So when a man wanted a woman, would he just take her? Like,
Lo-
would he just see what he like and say, "Hey, you mine"?
While those actions lacked legal protections for women, in many cultures, forced marriages or abductions were indeed a reality, where women had little to no say in their choice of partner.
So when did this happen? What year?
Could you clarify which specific period or event you're looking for the year for?
When the men took the women and just say, "You're mine," and you know, was it in the 1800s, 1700s, 1500s, 1400s?
That kind of practice and legal status for women existed over a very long period, stretching from the Middle Ages through the 1800s and well into the 20th century in various parts of the world. There isn't a single year to pin it to, as it was a deeply entrenched cultural norm for centuries. Of this conversation here.
Yeah, that was wild. All right,
It certainly was a heavy and complex topic to explore.
peace out.
Take care.